What is up, YouTube? My name is Austin Pace. I'm a 22-year-old college student. I am providing you all with fitness, entrepreneurial, and lifestyle content. That is what this channel is about. And today, the topic of the video is pre-workout. I would consider myself a STEM junkie. I've been taking pre-workout for about 8 years, which is about the same length of how long I've been in the gym. I've worked at GNC for about 4 years, so I've tried just about everything you can imagine, and I'm gonna give you all the breakdown of everything I know from my experience. So the plan of today is to go meet my boy Tanner at Boost, have a podcast with him, discuss the first time he ever gave me pre-workout in high school when I was 14 years old. Then after that, I'm gonna hit a workout of my own, do a voiceover, show you all some raw footage, and go deeper into the topic. Before we leave, I want you to comment below, let me know what your current pre-workout stack is. Stem of the day, the new bang, cookies and cream coffee. Have you seen this shit, bro? This is for you, my guy. Okay, this is kind of weird. Look, it says Keto Coffee on it. Wow, great marketing scheme, bang. Great marketing scheme. It's got 140 calories, 2 grams of fat, 11 grams of carbs. So keto family, is that even keto? Do keto doers like this? Do they agree with it? I don't know. But it's got 20 grams of protein. I tried the hazelnut flavor, and it was pretty good, so I'm gonna let you try the cookies and cream. There you go, Saul. It's got 300 milligrams of caffeine in that bad boy. For me, I'm rocking with the carbonated C4 Ultimate. I've actually not had this Arctic Snow Cone. And yeah, it's the same ingredient profile as the C4 Ultimate powdered pre-workout. And I'm gonna crack this open when we start the podcast. But that's what we're rolling with today. Let's get it. Podcast fam, I'm here with Tanner Allen today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Tanner Allen. I went to high school with Pace. Played football together, baseball together, played basketball together back when we were, 10 years old?
Yeah, grew up playing a bunch of sports.
Played a bunch of sports, yeah. Went to college to play football at UCM. So me and Austin were there two together, then I stopped playing and focused on school more after a few knee surgeries and some falling outs with some of the coaches. So I played there for about 2.5 years, and then I just went to school for the last 2 years. I graduated in May of this past year, 2018, and came out to Boost Physical Therapy and Sports Performance to be the site director of sports performance in Overland Park. So that's where we are today.
So a really, really funny story and a big topic of this YouTube video that I want to bring up, and something that I still remember to this day, is the first time that you ever gave me pre-workout. Now, we had a weights class together. It was called 0 Hour, and this was in high school for football. And our training program was pretty legit. Like, we had a really good training regimen, strength program in high school, especially when compared to other schools. So it was intense. Like, it was some real shit. And you have to understand, Tanner was a sophomore at this time. I was a freshman. And a lot of the sophomores, I just kept hearing about this thing called C4.
C4.
And I was
it's
like,
not that Call of Duty C4.
No, this is that real liquid stuff. I just kept hearing about it, and I'm seeing all these dudes just looking like animals, looking like they're off crack cocaine coming into weights class, and I just got curious, and he was wanting me to try it, so I walked in to our locker room one day. What time does 0 Hour start?
I think we had to be at the TTF at 6:30.
Yeah, so really early in the morning, and Tanner hands me this water bottle, and it's just blue. Like, it's filled with blue liquid.
Said, drink this.
And I'm just like, holy shit, this is it. At that time, like, I don't even really know what caffeine does. Like, you know what I mean?
You just hear about it in, like, soda.
And people are like, oh, do you drink caffeine? I drink soda. Well, at that time, like, I didn't know that there was only 30 milligrams of caffeine in soda, so probably you didn't even feel that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't really drink Monsters. I probably shouldn't have.
You just knew, like, caffeine kind of kept you up at night.
Yeah, that's all you, or gave you energy or
right.
whatnot, and you were told not to drink it. At least, like, I was told by my parents not to drink it. I'm drinking this thing, it's Icy Blue Raz. I was drinking it, and first off, I remember thinking, wow, this actually tastes pretty damn good. But it tasted different. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, man, this is not your typical beverage.
It's not soda, it's not juice,
and
it's just its own special category.
It's its own specimen. And yeah, so I drank it pretty fast because we were in a rush, and I kid you not, I remember walking into the weight room and literally feeling like I was getting acupuncture
on my face, my ball sack, my gooch, literally everywhere.
I think you feel it first on your gooch.
Yeah.
It spreads to other
I mean,
areas
I've
of
never
your
wanted
body.
to scrub it so bad at that point.
I think that's when you started scrubbing it.
Yeah, that might have had,
Yeah.
it might have fucking caused me to scrub my gooch. Dude, I was going like this, just like, I could not stop, it felt so good. But anyways, yeah, so the weird thing about it is like, yeah, I was 14 years old, I'm taking pre-workout, probably shouldn't have. And be honest, was it one scoop? Do you remember even?
It was probably a heaping scoop. I was probably trying to give him like a very like maximum effects of C4. So if it was just one, I think I probably did a heaping.
Yeah.
Let's go 1.5.
You always want everyone to get the most out of it, you
Yeah.
know? Long story short, I had a great workout, but I pretty much freaked the fuck out after. I went to class and like, my heart was
So
crazy.
you have palpitations.
Yeah, I was having palpitations. It was not good. It was not good, but I was hooked. Really, that was the beginning of pre-workout realm for me.
All right, we just got done with the podcast. Make sure to check that out on Apple Music or Spotify. Link right there. Here's the podcast name. Tanner's doing his thing right now. I'm going to go ahead and hit my workout, do a voiceover, talk more in depth about pre-workout, what I know, my experiences. That's it. Let's do it. I'm gonna do this voiceover elaborating on pre-workouts a little bit more while showing you my bench workout from this particular day. Now, I had only gotten about 4 hours of sleep the night before this workout, so I had that excuse, and my other excuse for not hitting the numbers I necessarily wanted to an incline bench was the bench here at my buddy's gym had quite a bit more of a degree of incline than the normal bench I was used to using. But despite those excuses, I still felt pretty good overall, and I was happy with the numbers I was able to hit. First thing I want to do is elaborate a little bit more about my experience taking that scoop of C4 the first time in high school. Now, if you're young, you're 14 years old, you're in high school, or you've never even taken pre-workout, but you are curious like I was, don't underestimate how strong some pre-workouts can be. Now, it's a little bit different if you've been drinking energy drinks for quite some time, or you are a regular coffee drinker, so you've built some type of tolerance to caffeine. But me, I barely drank soda, so I was not exposed to anything more than 100 milligrams of caffeine at the time. So yes, that shit hit me quick. I never ate breakfast in the morning, and our workouts at that time were at like 6:30 in the morning. So I chugged the drink right before the workout. Within minutes, seconds really, I started feeling tingles everywhere. Literally just that first time taking beta-alanine. If you've never tried it, like, I'm scared for you because it is going to fuck you up. Although there is nothing harmful with the feeling of beta-alanine or taking beta-alanine, it definitely was a little bit trippy when you first take it. After we warmed up, I noticed that I was sweating a lot more than normal and my heart rate was elevated. And we were doing a football workout, so the majority of the workout we were moving around, our heart rate was up, and I don't think it was necessarily the best combination, at least for the amount of pre-workout that I was given at that time. Growing up as a kid, I was also kind of prone to having anxiety. As you know, caffeine with anxiety is really not the best mix. So really, to summarize the experience, I did feel a lot more energized. I was very lightheaded. I was sweating. My palms were clammy. I felt tingly, a little bit uncomfortable, but the worst part about it was the after effects. I wouldn't say I necessarily crashed and got tired, but I just felt extremely anxious. But I did love just the physical energy I had from it when I was working out. So after I had it for that first time, I really strayed away from using it at all, but I eventually got more curious and wanted to give it a second chance. I went ahead and I bought C4 on my own, and I was taking about a half a scoop, and that seemed to be really the sweet spot for me on getting the proper effects without feeling overly anxious with the caffeine. Eventually, when I was a senior in high school, I got a job at GNC, and I just wanted to be around all these sports supplements. I just really liked learning about them, I liked selling them, and I liked taking them. I've now worked at GNC for about 4 years, and I've pretty much tried every single pre-workout that is on the market. You know, I've encountered so many different customers that have different levels of caffeine tolerance, and the one thing that I have found is that matching the appropriate caffeine content in a pre-workout with the specific individual and their needs and their conditions is the best way to go about choosing a pre-workout. Because essentially, all the ingredients in pre-workouts are very similar. Now, there are 3 ingredients in pre-workouts that I specifically look, these 3 being caffeine, L-citrulline for the pump, and beta-alanine. Not because of the research benefits, which really aren't as great as you would think, but just because I like the feeling. Now, if you are someone who feels anxious when they drink caffeine, the best thing you can do is figure out what your caffeine tolerance is and what amount, if any,
you need to perform and be able to take it without the negative, anxious side effects. If you are in high school and you're taking pre-workout, don't take it on an empty stomach. And please, for God, don't take it before a practice. If you're an athlete, you play football, basketball, baseball, just don't do it. Keep your pre-workout strictly for your weightlifting, because the moment you throw a full scoop in your mouth and you go run and do conditioning, your heart rate is going to be elevated way too high and you're going to feel like shit. I do believe it's so important to understand why you would take pre-workout. Taking pre-workout itself does not make you bigger. It benefits you in a very indirect manner. Pre-workout, caffeine, gives you energy. Usually when you feel more energized, you exert more energy. When you exert more energy, you push yourself harder. If you are able to push yourself harder for a longer time, you might just have a better workout. If it's pre-workout that's allowing you to do this, then taking pre-workout over time will give you better workouts, hence better results. As you take pre-workout, you will build a tolerance, which is why I recommend taking tolerance breaks every couple months or so. If you are a beginner or if you are in high school and you want to try pre-workout, I would first make sure you have no health conditions. Ask your doctor and make sure that you are healthy enough with your heart, with your blood pressure to take pre-workout. Secondly, I would then do your research before you choose a product to buy or try. Now, the amount of caffeine in the drink or pre-workout you are taking is the number one important thing to consider. If you were like me when I was 14 years old and you were just trying one for the first time, I would probably recommend taking between 50 to 100 milligrams of caffeine. The heaping scoop of C4 I was given my first time was probably around 200 to 225 milligrams of caffeine. Probably a little bit too high if you're that young or if that's your first time ever taking pre-workout. But, you know, there are some people that naturally have a higher tolerance to stimulants. To be on the safe side, though, I definitely recommend a product that's probably no more over 100 milligrams of caffeine, which is going to be pretty limited in the pre-workout realm. Which leads me to my recommendation of just drink a cup of coffee for your pre-workout. It's funny how coffee is a lot of times more socially acceptable at drinking at that age rather than buying a pre-workout, when essentially the main ingredient that makes people drink coffee in the first place and makes people buy pre-workouts in the first place is caffeine. But typically 1 cup of coffee is around 60 to 100 milligrams of caffeine, which is lower than most pre-workouts. If you want to go ahead and give an actual pre-workout a try for your first time, a couple products that I would recommend would be the C4 Sport. It's got a low amount of caffeine. It's a pretty basic beginner's pre-workout. Or one of my all-time favorites, Extend Go. Now this is actually classified as a BCAA product, but it does have caffeine in it with my all-time favorite supplement, L-theanine. L-theanine is an amino acid that acts as a calming agent, and when you take it with caffeine, it reduces the negative side effects like the anxiety, the jitters, and increases the cognitive enhancement of caffeine. Now, I made a video in the past about taking L-theanine with caffeine and why I love it so much on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. I'm probably going to make a new one in the future. But when you take L-theanine with caffeine, with a good ratio of milligrams of L-theanine to caffeine, all your side effects are going to go away. Now, if you have a little bit of a higher tolerance to caffeine, want to try something a little bit more extreme, my favorite 3 pre-workouts right now would be Beyond Raw Lit, the new Shatter Revolution, and the square box, I'll put a picture up on the screen, C4 Ultimate. Now, those recommendations are based off my personal experiences, and from working at GNC, these are the ones that we really sell most of, with Lit being number 1 by a long shot. But there are so many pre-workouts on the market. If you just look for those 3 ingredients and really figure out the caffeine content that gives you the best experience, you will come across a pre-workout that is perfect for you. If you are prone to anxiety, I highly recommend getting yourself some L-theanine to take every time you drink caffeine. I want to know, what has been your first experience with taking pre-workout? Did you have some of the negative side effects like I experienced? Or did you have the best experience of your life? I really want to know. Comment below. Everyone is so different, and it's unique to hear how everyone reacts from taking different supplements. Do me a huge favor by giving this video a thumbs up. I'm currently on the road to monetization for YouTube right now. We are slowly but surely getting there, but you can help me out by subscribing to my channel. Also, send me a direct message, or you can leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see in the future. Do you like the vlogs? Do you like the voiceovers? Do you want to see a raw workout? Do you like more of the sit down, me talk about a subject? You tell me, I will make it. I appreciate you all for watching.